Semifinal number 2, and yes, more fireworks are on the way. SVB Orcollo, Wilson and Helfert on the call. Welcome, pool fans. And Jay, give us the strengths of each of our contestants.
Well, we all know that Shane has the biggest break in professional pool, but what people don't realize is that he's got a complete game. He can do everything. He's got a good safety game. He's a great shot maker. He's got it all. He's got the whole package. It's not break only. Dennis, on the other hand, is a little bit more like Efren. He's gonna try to tie Shane up and get into safety battles, and that's where Dennis may have a little bit of an edge. And I will say this about Dennis: his break has improved greatly this year.
And he just came off a big match against Copenhagen in New York, where they played over 3 days' time, and Dennis emerged victorious against the world number 1. So Van Boening has won the leg, and he will be breaking. Been very productive from his breaks. Race to 11, single elimination.
Dennis has played 2 Filipinos so far. He defeated Carlo Beato in a hill match, and then he beat Lee Van Cortese, the runner-up last year, to Shane. Shane, meanwhile, has demolished 2 great players. Niels Fayen, he beat him 11-5, and Alex Pagulayan yesterday 11-4. So Shane has just dominated so far.
But it was marked improvement from performance number 1 to performance number 2. Last night he really took it to Alex Pagulayan. He looked a little tentative his first match.
With Niels.
Yes. Yeah. He played well, but not fantastic. Last night he played fantastic.
Well, he got 2 balls on the break. Wide open table. This is made to order for Shane.
Throughout the play, the players have been averaging, breaking and running out 3 racks apiece on the 5x10. Super challenging, 1 race to 11. So I think that's a pretty high standard.
That's what really hurt Efren in that last match with Jason. He just couldn't make a ball on the break.
It turned out to be his undoing. I think he was only successful on 1 break, maybe 2. He had 0 break and runouts that match. Shane just went on the road and spent a week in Des Moines, Iowa, practicing on their BIGFOOT 10-ball table. So you know he's serious about laying claim to 3 consecutive BIGFOOT championships. And Shane really does not enjoy playing on the 10-foot table. I have one in my home. And when he was there, while we were getting ready for the Moscone Cup, he preferred not to play on the 10-foot table.
Well, most of the tournaments are still competed on a 9-foot diamond table.
For those that don't know, Jay Helfert is a big proponent of this particular event and has been so for the last 7 or 8 years.
Yeah, we've been doing the BIGFOOT for 6 years now.
Nice shot there. Shane Van Boening, by virtue of winning the leg, is going to open up the match with a break and run out here to start. We are playing all ball fouls too. Just be mindful of that. Van Boening 1, Orcollo 0.
Shane has won the last 2 BIGFOOT tournaments. He's the 2-time defending champion. I'm wondering, Mark, if he can three-peat like he did at the U.S. Open.
The winner of this match moves on to play Jason Shaw, who he's just played awesome all 3 of his matches.
See this gray-haired guy, excuse me, behind Dennis? That's actually Shane's backer, John French. I'm kind of surprised he's sitting over behind Dennis.
Well, that's John Mars, isn't it?
Yeah, John Mars.
Okay.
Yeah. Did I say John French?
You did.
Okay. That's Dennis's backer.
Van Boening just to the right of the center of the table. 7 and 9, right behind the 1. That's the ones that find the side pocket the most regularly.
They want to bring the 1-up table near the corner pocket.
Well, nothing went. The Unusual dry break.
I'm not so sure Dennis can see the full 1 ball with the 8 partially blocking it. Let's see. Maybe he can. We'll see when he comes around here and takes a look at it. Beautiful view there on this Accu-Stats camera. The 4 and 7 ball are tied up above the 10 there.
Really interesting, as Jay alluded to, Dennis's strengths is probably more on the tactical side, and Van Boening's strengths more on the wide open offensive side.
Yeah, I think it favors Shane on this big table because the balls tend to break wide open. Whereas a 9-foot table, you get a little bit more congestion. No, he couldn't see the whole ball. He had to play safe.
Yeah, nice kick safety there. He was able to stop the cue ball.
You know, there may be a billiard from the 1 to the 10. Shane's going to take a look at this. Scott Smith, our official, comes down to watch because it'll be a close hit if he goes for it.
Well, if the cue ball goes over towards the 2, it has to be a bad hit. Cue ball comes off the 10 and goes to the end rail about where that diamond is, just nearest the corner pocket. Then it was going to be a good hit.
You don't have to call the 10 ball.
Cue ball lodged on the rail. Shane looks like he needs to introduce a little bit of side spin, a little bit of right-hand English to help the 10 go to the pocket. Not even playing it.
Safety all the way.
And it wasn't there, or he would have.
Looks like the 1's just going to go far enough to hide from Dennis. Dennis will probably have to kick behind this ball, unless he wants to jump over the 4 ball.
No jump cues allowed. All ball fouls.
Yeah,
Winner breaks.
You can jump with your break cue or your playing cue. Dennis is aiming at it as if he can see the edge of the ball. I'm not sure if he's shooting at the ball or kicking. I think he's kicking behind it. Let's see. Kick it down table. Oh, no, he could see it. He overcut it. Still kind of a mess up there. A little bit of a difficult combination for Shane with this 1-6.
It even looks like the 9 might be partly obstructing the combination. Maybe not. Very tough to tell from our angle. We'll be able to tell by Shane. He's confident about it, so he...
The 2-3 is a little bit tied up right by the side pocket as well. This is a tough rack here.
Oh, he rifled it home. Nice shot.
Yeah, he's going to have a good shot.
Good aggressive shot. Well executed. That was not just a hanging combination, or it wasn't an on combination.
Shane's taking a look. Yeah, you can see from here that he can actually shoot the 2 if he gets on it just right. Excuse me, that's the 2-5 that are tied up by the side pocket. But if he gets on the 2, he doesn't have a big window to get on the 2 ball. He's probably got to get that cue ball between the 3 and the 9. This takes a real good touch.
Very nice.
He got there. See that? He's going to shoot right between the 9 and the 3. You know, Mark, he can use the 5 ball to hold the cue ball after he makes the 2. Hold the cue ball for the 3. He didn't need to. The way he's playing this, I guess the 4 does go in the corner. It's not tied up against that 7 ball. Early in the match, this is the second game. As you can see, Shane is leading 1-0. Got to always be careful bridging over balls. We are playing all ball fouls in this tournament.
Yet that hasn't even been a factor one time. That's most interesting to me, because you're always stretching on this Bigfoot table, the 10-foot one-piece slate.
We got a lot of criticism when we went with this rule because, as you know, Mark, a lot of tournaments in the United States are played cue ball fouls only, but internationally, most major tournaments are all played foul on all balls.
Mm-hmm.
And these are great professional players. They know how to be careful and not touch balls, and they play in these international tournaments.
Well, it's just proper. It looks so amateurish when you're out there monkeying around, moving a ball, you know.
We're in agreement.
Shane wants to measure up where the cue ball will be to see how he can move the cue ball as near to the 8 as he possibly can from the 7. Over the years, I've known Shane to be a great player, but I know him to be a great man now in terms of his integrity and moral values. Utmost respect for him. Nearly overcut that ball, Jay. I thought it was overcut, but it went in. By overcutting it, the cue ball ran much further on his position play here, so now that makes it just a little bit more work. Might pull back and just go for draw or 3 rails around. No, he was able to
Side
go
pocket all
forward.
the way. He just manufactured the angle he wanted.
Shane's a renowned outdoorsman, too. I don't know if you know that. He fishes.
Oh, yeah.
Ice fishes, hunts. That's his escape from the sport. And Van Boening quickly runs out to a 2-0 lead. Fast break offense.
Again, this is a race to 11. The players are using the Accu-Stats.
Van Boening preparing to break here, rack number 3. Leading the match 2-0. 4 and 6 right behind the 1. 2 and 3 on the corners. 3 ball found its way into the pocket. 5 ball went into the pocket.
Can he see that 1 ball?
Well, he's quickly assessing that situation. I think he can at least get over the edge of the 6 ball should he not be able to shoot straight at it. I think he has a pretty routine jump. Apparently so, because he didn't even get his playing cue out. He's just going to jump it with this.
This is kind of a semi-jump shot for Shane. Perfect control, everything. He went a little bit farther than he wanted on that 2 ball, though. He'd prefer the cue ball would kind of be in the middle of the table here.
Four ball would be next. Going to try to... Well, I guess he's going in the corner pocket here.
Yeah, inside English here. Little left English. Come across the table for the 4 in the same pocket. Looks good now.
Yeah, well played. Here's another reason that I admire Shane Van Boening. He treats this as a sport. And it's not just his fitness, because he works out for the sport, but like last night, he beat Pagulayan, played pretty well, rewards himself with an hour and a half practice session on the same table, breaking and running out, breaking. I mean, and performing perfectly. A lot of the guys I see, they win a match, they run out of here, they get on their cell phone, they Facebook, they high five, they get a beer. Shane persists in working.
Well, to be on the top in this sport, you've got to have a good work ethic, and both these guys do. Dennis will do the same thing. He'll practice for hours every day.
I really feel it absolutely stifles the American pool world that we do not have the discipline and work ethic that you see in Asia or Europe.
Meanwhile, Shane making quick work of this rack.
This would be a second break and run out of the match. And that's how you beat someone like Dennis Orcollo, is just you have to deny him access to the table. You can't gunfight every rack. Van Boening now 3.
You know what we used to say, Mark, keep them in their chair.
Yeah, Dennis is so good. He can make things happen from nowhere. Even if you leave him safe, he can still hit it and leave you safe, and then he gets a chance at the table, and then there goes 2 or 3 racks sometimes. This puts a lot of pressure on the opposition, too, because they know that you're not failing, you're collecting, and now they have to retaliate. And the balls do not go in as freely when you're behind as they do when you're in front.
Well, Shane has just been the dominant player so far in this event with 11-5 and 11-4 wins. He'd like to do the same thing to Dennis if he could.
And we really can't diminish Jason Shaw's performance. He had 2 900s and near 900 in the last one. Whoever ends up in the final match, it's going to be intense. 5 and 7 right behind the 1. Neither one goes in the pocket, but the 6 finds the corner pocket. Shane's going to have a shot, it looks like.
Yeah, I think he could see the edge of that 1 ball.
The 1 ball's frozen, and it actually plays better for Shane, I think, in this case.
But the 2 is all the way down table, so he's going to have to go 3 rails around, get the cue ball probably somewhere around where the 3 is.
Yeah, he's going to have to load this up with side spin, too, because he has a pretty flat trajectory in there, and he's going to have to get to the end rail quite quickly to get around deep enough to come around for the 2. It makes this shot missable when you have to jack up and then inside spin. Look how good he hit that, Jay. Beautiful, perfect, awesome.
He went a little further than he wanted, although he could actually shoot the 2 in the side past that 7 ball.
And you can't fault him because he couldn't risk winding up behind the 3. He had to go all the way around. And so, knowing that, he knows he can defend himself from here as long as he's not hooked. So if he doesn't get perfect, that's okay, but just don't hook yourself getting to the 2.
That's kind of a narrow opening in the side. He can use that 7 ball as a sideboard, but it's not a full pocket that he's shooting at here.
I really wouldn't object if he was to play the 2 past the side pocket and try to get the cue ball underneath the 10.
Well, he's very offensive minded. He wants to run out if he used that 7 all the way to his advantage.
That's an awesome shot.
He hit it in a little different way than I thought, Mark. I thought he would come off the edge of the 7, but he pushed right through the 7.
Well, he's looking absolutely masterful here in the early stages.
Not much Dennis can do to defend himself right now.
Another thing to like about Shane is that you don't have any arrogance about him. Now, he's confident, and if you push him, he will express that he thinks he's the best player, but he doesn't espouse that to the general public or anything. He's just a regular guy, and you just have to admire that about him. For the rest of the pro pool players, oftentimes because of their economic situation, the only thing they have is ego. So they persist, letting us know they can run 3 racks.
Yeah, Shane's most important tournament is always the next one. He wants to win the current one and then move on to the next one. He's looking for a payday every week.
But it's not about money for him. He is 100% about U.S. Opens and World Championships. Whatever the biggest tournament is where he wants to go. He just came back from China, where he played in the Chinese 8-ball.
Wonder if he's going to this big Chinese 8-ball coming up in March. That's a $500,000 tournament. Right now there's a little controversy surrounding that event regarding the sanctioning with the World Pool Billiards Association. I don't know how that's all going to shake out.
Thin cut for Shane. This would be a second consecutive break and run out. It is. Captures that, expands the lead 4 games to 0 by virtue of 3 break and run outs thus far.
We haven't seen much of Dennis Orcollo in this match.
You know, Shane and I have discussed the importance of winning the lag, and he's dedicated himself to winning the lag. And I don't know if you noticed, but if you watch his matches, he's doing much better this year than maybe as recent as 2 years ago. He recognizes the importance of it, and here, 3 break and run outs so far. He started off the match with a break and run out, then there was a small exchange in rack number 2, and then now 2 more break and run outs. So
Dennis is in his zen mood. He gets very contemplative. I'll tell you what, when Dennis has that look on his face, you cannot talk. Oh, that's nice, 1,000. You won't see anybody shoot 1,000 too often.
No, Shane's made 40 balls too.
Yeah.
You know, Dennis has made 0 balls. This was very similar to how Shane started off last night against Paggy Lyon.
Just pops that cue ball right up there. Well, the cue ball got kicked down table. That's not what he wants.
And the 3 sifted in. Yeah, he probably would have just assumed the 3 didn't even go in that time.
You can see the 1, but I think he's going to opt to play a safety here.
He may have to push out too. I'm not positive he can see it.
You can see half the ball, I think. Let's see if we can get a view of that.
That particular angle makes playing safe from the 1 very, very delicate.
Yeah, he can see the 1 ball.
He can see it enough, but he's going to give Dennis a chance to make the first mistake here.
Believe me, Dennis is going to take a long, hard look at this because he hasn't been at the table in a long time.
You know, the other component is that Dennis knows that when he forces Shane back in, it's easy for Shane to be committed whatever kind of iffy shot that he has, where Dennis, you have sat there a long time, now you're coming up and you got to play a delicate safety. It's not much fun.
He passed it right back.
We'll see what Shane had in mind here. That's a good shot. And that's what made it so tough for Dennis to take that, because if he fails that, now it's easy to have something really get away from you here as far as the match score.
Dennis has got to kick off the end rail. He'll hit the 1 ball, but after that, it's anybody's guess where they're going to end up.
It's like Shane's going to earn another good offensive opportunity, and he has.
That good safety he just played paid off. This is what I was talking about, Mark. Shane's got a lot more in his game than just a big break. He moves good, too.
If you lost your round 1 pocket, you got till 5 o'clock.
Beautiful speed there, Jay. Look at that. Perfect angle.
The ball that's a little bit tough here is that 8 ball on the rail right by the side pocket. That's about the worst place on the table to have an object ball.
Yeah, Shane's examining that right now, just what he could do. The 7's right next to it.
Yeah, he'd love to be able to shoot the 7 off the 8, but I don't know if he can here.
No, I think he's just going to have to play position to play the 8 maybe in the corner, but he'll be able to get the cue ball real close to the 8 so he can pick up maybe just a hint of an angle to free it from the rail for the 9.
Well, it looks like the 8's just off the rail, which is a good thing.
Nothing but the heart of the pocket thus far, Shane Van Boening. Jay, what was your life experience on 5x10s? Did you have much?
Well, when I was a kid growing up, a lot of pool rooms did have a 5x10 table. And I played quite a bit on the 5x10 at the old 7-Eleven in New York, except I was playing with guys like Jersey Red and Johnny Ervolino, and that didn't work out real well. There was a famous 10-foot table at the 7-Eleven where all the big money games were. As you know, Mark, Prior to 1950, most of the world championships were held on a 10-foot table.
Right. Yeah, 10-foot tables were heavily produced even in the late 50s. Oh, he did not want to rub that 8-ball forward for sure.
I'm not sure what he was trying to do
He
there.
it
He
went
wanted to
in the
slide
side.
past,
No,
right?
it went in the side pocket. Now he made it so it doesn't go. Yeah, that's iffy. That's really the first little hiccup that we've seen from Shane Van Boening. He's played a perfect match thus far. He's pocketed all 47 balls that have been in play.
Is he going to try and bank this ball cross-side?
He might be just playing safe.
Yep.
Now, look at this. Dennis has to go either very full. He's not able to pocket this ball, or rail first.
Yeah, it's just he's got just a little too much angle to shoot straight at it and try to make it. Because the cue ball is going to go in the side pocket.
This is an interesting dilemma. Dennis might be best served to kick to the far end rail and come back at the 8.
May try to cross this ball and send the 8 a little bit down table and get the cue ball back up behind the 9.
A lot of double kiss implications here, though. No, he was able.
Ooh, you're right. He just missed the double kiss, but he made a good safety.
And if he hits the 8 thinner initially, there's a double kiss there because it's so near the rail. So that was a great shot by Dennis. I mean, that took something.
Mark, those balls came within a half an inch of colliding. Meanwhile, he's left Shane a long, difficult cut shot, which I think Shane would. I'm guessing he's going to shoot at it. This is the kind of shot is tougher on a 10-foot table.
Here we are just in the first little quarter of the match. But, yeah, here's a big rack right here. The difference of 4-1 behind or 5-0 is enormous.
Shane's going to use his extension right now once he goes over 40 seconds.
Yeah, there's no sense being in a hurry on this shot. You're not going to need an extension the rest of the rack. So
When you see him loading up like that, I think he's shooting at it.
it's like a bank shot.
Wow. Swish.
How about that? Rifle at home.
Yeah, meanwhile, look at the reward.
But maybe he can defend himself easier from here, though, if he doesn't like it. Right?
This shot's not any easier than the last one.
Well, I mean, yeah, he can overcut the 9, though, and get it to the end rail and get the cue ball down table, where the other safety was not as easy.
You mean overcut it on the professional side?
I do. In this fashion right here.
You called that one, Mark. Called that one.
That's unreal. When you have to play a 10-foot long bank shot, so it's a 20-foot shot, to get to play a tough safety. You know, I mean,
Well, this is the best shot Dennis has had in the match right here. The question is, does he want to try to cut it in, or does he want to try to bank it? Both these guys are still alive in the bank pool. There's only like 10 or 11 players left. After this match is over, they're going to go back and play bank pool.
which means they're in the hunt for the all-around on the leaderboard.
Now it looks like he's trying to cut this ball in. Nice shot, Dennis. Oh, my God, he overcut it.
Yeah,
Might have got a fortuitous kick there with the cue ball off the point. I'm not sure if Shane can cut that 9 in or if he's got to kick it in.
It looks like he can cut it in, but it'll be super thin, and that means that side pocket over there will be introduced as a part of it, so he has to be mindful of that. He may have to use some side spin, which makes pocketing this ball even more difficult.
Got to hit it real thin. He did.
Okay. Wasn't quite as bad as we thought. He was able to just actually slow roll it in.
And he came out pretty good on the 10. That's what he wanted to do. He wanted to keep the cue ball away from the rail there.
No way to fault Dennis's effort there. He missed it on the pro side, almost made it. Hit it pure enough that that ball that Dennis missed would have been in on 9-foot table, Jay, just so you know. Van Boening 5, Orcollo 0.
This match is fast getting away from Dennis.
I bet, I didn't discuss this, but I bet Shane loves winner break on a 10-foot table. I bet he loves that because his absolute strength, that's what it plays into.
Well, Dennis is shooting a 0. That's something you'll rarely see
Well,
with
you
a
know
professional
what?
player.
To me, Dennis is playing terrific. So he hasn't had any opportunities to speak of. 50 balls pocketed for Shane Van Boening, 0 balls pocketed for Dennis Orcollo. That says it all.
That face says a lot.
Junior to table 10, you're on the clock.
You know, you wonder the mixture of not getting much of an opportunity and the fact that there might be some bad blood or history or serious competition here, how that plays into Dennis's psyche and emotion.
I'll tell you what does play into it, Mark, is the fact that Shane's beat Dennis the last 5 times they've played. And
That's what I mean. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, the overall, because he wants to remedy that. You can't do it all in one match. Oh, here's the second best shot that Dennis has faced, right?
you got to play safe.
But he's close range.
It looks like he's going to try to hide the cue ball behind the 4 and the 7. This one you got to have the right touch. You got to have the right speed. You don't want it to go. He came out good. He hit it behind the 8 ball. Shane's got to jump this ball. Now Shane, he can jump a full ball with his break cue. Not too many players can do that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, he has all the shots.
I think all you can do here is make a good hit and hope for the best. Doesn't really have a good pocket. Wow.
He went after the 10.
Yes, he did.
And it was a free chance. You know, you're going to have to hit it anyway. You're vulnerable to not come out good. You might as well give the 10 a little movement.
Dennis finally has an open shot in a pocket.
A lot of traffic in front of him.
Exactly. Cue ball looks like it's going right that track and right down towards that 8-4-7. I think he's going to run into something.
It's just past the center of the side pocket, so you can't really try to play the pocket too much, hitting it full, because then you risk missing. The shot clock's winding down here.
He's going to use his extension as well. Each player gets 1 extra 40 seconds per rack. Well, he avoided the 4 ball.
And he was
Came out
able,
good.
Yeah, he was able to hit the fat side of the pocket too. So that was a really well-struck shot.
Can't tell you how badly Dennis needs to win this rack.
Would Dennis ever have any exposure to a 5x10 that you know of?
No, there is no 5x10 that I know of in the Philippines. They'd like to get one over there, though. There may be a call going into Diamond pretty soon. As you know, this table is prohibitively more expensive than the 9-foot table. Bigger, thicker slate. Somebody told me something like each slate is 700 pounds. I mean, that's crazy. Well, I think it's a one-piece slate. That's why it's so heavy, but that's still huge.
Well, there's no doubt about it. It's one-piece slate, which really, you know, it's a tremendous tool for setting these up. Set up 49-footers in, you know, one day. And you can imagine how many days it would have taken with 3-piece slates back in yesteryear?
Yeah. Well, Diamond's got it down to a science. They load these tables up on a big dolly sideways. Well, we heard from our director, Pat Fleming, this table weighs nearly 2,000 pounds. So that makes it almost 500 pounds heavier than a 9-foot table. Meanwhile, Dennis is trying to get on the board. It's like you said, Mark, the further you are behind, the more pressure there is.
Look at this. Now he's going to come back and forth yet again. He handled that well. Now he's going to have to stretch and reach the bridge. You know, this 10-foot table also exposes people that do not prepare to play with the bridge. You can kind of get away with it on a 9-footer. It doesn't come up as often on this table. Every match you're going to have to use the bridge 2 or 3 times.
See how good he hit that ball? Let me tell you, a lot of people don't realize the Filipinos are excellent players with the bridge. You ever see a Filipino pick a bridge up? Don't worry about them. They're almost as good as, they probably are as good as our straight pool players. Dennis will be on the board.
Stayed down real still. Carved through a tough rack there. Good job, Dennis Orcollo. Comeback. Sounds like he's going to take a little brief time out here. Regroup. He trails 5-1. Hey, everybody, we're back. Orcollo racking and breaking. Trailing 1-5. Race to 11. Mark Wilson, Jay Helfert here.
He'd like to do to Shane what Shane has just done to him. And as I said at the beginning of this telecast, Dennis's break has improved greatly, but let's see if he can make it work right now when he needs it.
5 and 6, right behind the 1. Dennis breaking just slightly left of center of the table.
He's going for the side pocket as well and bring one up table. He wants the same kind of result. Oh, he almost lost the cue ball there. I don't see anything going down, though, and Shane's going to have a shot at the 1. Not a good break. Scott Smith removes the
Accu-Rack.
The Accu-Rack.
Accu-Rack, Jay.
Made by Chris Renfro.
Oh, we love it. We use it at the Lindenwood University Billiards Arena, too, and all my players much prefer that rack.
Well, the racking goes a lot faster, I know that, than with the old triangles.
And you know what? It creates a lot more equity, too, so that there's not random ball gaps and such.
Shane's using a little left English, a little inside English.
And really stretched out there. His lanky frame aids him. He's not going to even come close to getting on the 2.
I don't know about this shot. He's going to have to kick at the 2 ball. And this is going to be a hard 2 ball to hit because he's going to be jacked up over the 9, too. If he's kicking off the end rail.
Yeah, he may opt to go with right-hand English, and that way he can hit that side of the ball without the 9 being so much of a...
You know, I think that stretching really affected his stroke there because he didn't get anywhere near where he wanted to be.
No, he's jumping. Look at this.
Boy, he just barely hit that ball.
Look at this result. Oh, boy. That's what happens. Pool is not fair for anyone watching, so just forget about that. And
the pool gods just shined down on Shane Van Boening.
Shane looked over at John Mars and smiled his backer like, hey, you know I got lucky on that. But you have to be playing well at the table to get lucky. You don't get lucky sitting in the broadcast booth or anything.
To Dennis's credit, he's going to try and do something with this.
Yeah, he's playing the 2 in the side for sure.
Maybe even the 8 in the corner. Kind of a two-way shot if he makes a good hit on it. And he did. He made a good hit.
Boy. World class.
You know, it looked like the 2 was going in on the side as well.
Yeah.
If it didn't double kiss the cue ball.
That's something. That's not random luck. He was playing a shot there. And yes, it's a remote. Yes, it's a 5x10 table with tight pockets. But nonetheless, they have to try to extract every little percentage they can.
Yeah, what I like about players like Dennis and Efren, they don't give up on a shot because they've got a bad lie. Mm-hmm. They try to do the best they can with that shot. And as you can see, it paid off there, although he's got a difficult cut shot on this 2 ball. 2 ball's got to go down past that 6 ball in the corner pocket.
Marginal players also get frustrated. You know, marginal pros, I'm saying, they don't play every ball to that full extent like Dennis just did on that one because the balls are conspiring against them at the moment they perceive. And they tie their ego so intimately to their outcomes. Overcut it?
Yep, he overcut the ball. Bad mistake by Dennis there when he had an opening. I mean, it was a tough shot, but he's just going to have to make those shots if he wants to stay in this match.
And that's what happens when you're 5-1 back and you got a tough shot. It just becomes so large. and it seems to magnify errors.
Everything out in the open for Shane Van Boening. Got his trusty Q-Tech cue in his hand. He's like Earl. He plays with an extension on that cue.
And sometimes he takes it off. It's the oddest thing. I never know what that means. But
I think that cue's like 63 inches long or something.
yeah, I hit balls with it, and I was absolutely amazed at how good it plays. I just didn't even conceive that the cue could play that well. It's quite heavy, too. It's about 23 ounces. But it's well balanced, and the shaft plays great. I just didn't even think that it would be like that at all.
I think I got to give Earl credit for figuring out these long cues like this. And Earl's kind of been a mentor to Shane.
Yeah, very much. Not so much by word, but more by example of work ethic and discipline and really believing in the sport.
Looks like Shane's going to have to go forward 2 rails to get down table on the 6 ball. He's going to have to put a good stroke on this ball. Oh, boy. He put a good stroke on it. He forgot to make the ball, though. Is he going to? No, he's not going to tie Dennis up. Boy, what a break for Dennis Orcollo. Meanwhile, if Shane made it, he was hooked behind the 9 anyway. That was his poorest shot of the match so far. Surprising turn of events here. Looked like an easy out for Shane. Dennis wants to keep an angle. He doesn't want to be straight in. Just enough of an angle to go forward 2 rails for the 7 ball next.
I don't know. He may need to go rail first here. Just because that gives him a little bit more angle getting down table.
Jeffrey Wade, table 34, you're on your clock. Jeffrey Wade,
A
table
little bit harder with the cue ball on the rail.
Good shot. Have you ever been in Dennis's birth hometown?
Surigao del Sol. No, I have not.
It's on a remote island that's a fishing community, or am I wrong?
No, you're right. You're right. Well, you know he was a fisherman up until he was about 12 years old when he really got into pool.
And was there tragedy associated with the...
He lost his father out to sea when Dennis was 3 years old. His father was lost at sea. He was a fisherman.
Isn't that amazing, Jay? I mean, they're still in this day and age, people get lost at sea. And
well, they go out in little boats. They go out in little 16-foot power boats, and they may go 20 miles offshore. I've seen the boats that Dennis fished in when he was a 10, 11, 12-year-old kid. I'll tell you something about him.
Good run out there. Yeah. Good run out there. 2 games for Orcollo and 5 games for Van Boening.
I was very fortunate to join Dennis and his family a couple years ago in Subic, and we went swimming in the ocean in Subic Bay. Dennis swims like a shark. I mean, he can literally hold his breath underwater for a couple minutes. The first time he did it, we dove off a platform that was maybe 200 yards offshore, and Dennis disappeared. And I got a little bit worried. And he surfaces again. He's at shore. He swam like 200 yards under the water. It must have been a minute and a half. And, I mean, from all those years, look at this TPA. Well, Dennis is on the board anyway. He's got an 800, respectable.
915 Van Boening.
Yeah. Dennis is a diminutive man. He's only about 5'5", but he's actually very powerful.
Yeah, very athletic.
Yeah, very athletic. But I think he likes playing pool a little more than he liked fishing.
I think he found the right thing because he's so skilled at it.
Oh, yeah. He told me stories about how he worked his way up, from playing in the little two-table pool rooms where he grew up, moving to the larger cities. Let's see if he can come up with a little better break this time.
9 ball.
Yeah, he made a ball.
Good, powerful break.
Yeah, but doesn't really have a good shot at the 1. He might try to bank this 1 down where the 5 is. Not sure. He does bank the balls really well.
I think he's going to cut it in.
That's a severe cut shot, although could go for it. He's looking for some kind of offensive option.
Well, if position was just a little bit more available, I think he would go after the 1 for sure. But because he knows he's going to have to run into some clutter, he might be a little bit reluctant to try a tough shot to get to a tough position too simultaneously.
You might be right. He might be trying to cut this 1 ball in.
Nope.
No, safety all the way.
Yeah.
He wants to get behind this whole group of balls here, and he did it.
That's where these rotation players have, they have markedly improved skills over the basic American for controlling 2 balls simultaneously. You watch Efren, you watch Lee Van, Boosty, they're just unbelievably talented at moving 2 balls like that and getting some clutter in the way. Shane made a full jump. Dennis is going to be rewarded now for his good play.
The 6 ball went up table and tied up the 2, so that's going to be on Dennis's mind. He'll shoot the 1 into the 5. Try to make sure he leaves himself a shot at the 1. It's a little trickier than it looks. He doesn't want that 1 to lay over on the end rail. That's what happens. Forced to play safe again. Looks like he can bank that 1 up there past all those balls and use the 7-10 as blockers.
You might bank the 1 back underneath into the rack area and put the cue ball down table. It's because he gets himself more distance between the 2 of them. Ooh, he overdrew it a little bit and has exposed the 1.
I'm not sure where he was going there.
No, he just wanted to not bump that 7. He'd have been fine. See, if the 7 was back where it was, then the 1 is completely blocked. Dennis ever tell you any stories about early stages of his pool career where his grandfather was playing pool?
Yeah, he's told me some. I think his grandfather had a little 4-table room. And Dennis, when he was like 11 or 12 years old, he saw them playing for pesos, coins. And he says, I want to win some of that money. This is a tough shot right here on his 2 ball.
Yeah, Shane's considering a safety here, too.
This match tightened up a little bit at 5-2. Still got a long ways to go to 11. Well, he fired at it, Mark.
He certainly did. And
Got away with it, too. Watch this. Watch this. Ooh.
Didn't even come close.
That was kind of a wild shot there by Shane.
Hard to fault him because the safety was difficult as well. I heard a story that Dennis has watched his grandfather lose a good deal of money and vowed that he was going to
win it back?
Well, to create havoc on the pool world.
Well, he did that.
And is still doing it.
He wants to put the cue ball behind the 10. He's got some blocking help from the 8 ball here. I don't know if Shane wants to jump this 8 ball because the cue ball looks like it's tracking right towards the side if he hits the 2. Yeah, he's kicking at it.
Solid impact. Just trying to get some separation. That's all he could hope for. You couldn't play much. That's kind of like what we call a naked kick, where you just kick and try to get some speed and see what happens.
These balls are just staying tied up for these guys. Dennis can shoot the 2-ball down to our lower right as you look at the screen. But the 3 is in a difficult spot. That's the 3 and 8 tied up right there.
Yeah, he seems to feel that the shooting at the 2 has value, so I guess that means he's going to hold the cue ball over by the far side pocket, so he can play the 3 in the same pocket he's playing the 2.
Well, he got position. He just forgot to make the 2-ball.
Well, it was a great effort, however. Right?
Yeah, meanwhile, Shane's got no shot at it. It was kind of a two-way shot. By missing, Dennis has left nothing for Shane. Very interesting rack here. Shane's kicking off the end rail. This is kind of a small ball. He's going to miss it.
Yeah, good play by Dennis. So he earns himself another opportunity.
Not sure if the 3 will go up in the corner, like where Dennis is standing right now. I think so, yeah. I think that's where he's going to have to play it. Let's see. Yeah, that's what he's looking at. Wants to get the cue ball just to the left of that 10 ball. Very delicate position shot here. Surprised he's got this much angle.
Yeah.
Yeah, he went way too far. He went way too far.
And you said it beforehand. I mean, he set up a severe angle, and he hit that. How much slower could he possibly hit the ball? Because the object ball crept up to the corner pocket and fell in. So I don't think he used ball in hand as effectively as he should have.
Tough shot here. This would be huge if Dennis can make this. He did, too. Beautiful shot.
They used his firepower to recover from a mental error.
Hit that one like Jason Shaw.
All right.
He should get out here with 5 balls on the table. This is becoming a close match. A moment ago, it was 5-0, and looks like it's going to be 5-3 in a minute. Up and down the table with the cue ball.
Very smooth cueing action for Dennis Orcollo. His transition backswing to foreswing, very fluid. That aids accuracy tremendously.
He's got it.
5-3 is our score. Orcollo will be breaking.
This match just tightened up.
Yeah.
Some kind of ragged games there, but Dennis got the best of him.
Well, you know, ragged is not probably, that's probably a little bit too derogatory. We're talking about a 5x10 with 4.5-inch pockets here. And so it does expose you. I mean, we saw a couple pros in this very event, and this was nothing but 16 players invited, that this table absolutely overwhelmed them.
Yeah.
And they look very
that was sad.
marginal.
Yeah, that was sad to see. We won't mention any names, but there were a couple players in the first round that really struggled on this table.
And that's what this table can do to you. You know, it's like you're on a championship golf course or something. Yeah, you can shoot par on your public course, but you're 20 over here, buddy. You know, it's not even close. Yeah, different deal. Orcollo the break now. He'd like to get a little something going from the break, get some offense generated. Even if it was just first opportunity to play safe, it would be highly valuable.
Yeah, his break hasn't been that effective so far.
Unlike Shane, who's broken ran out 3 times so far on his way to getting 5 wins. So kind of going along. Shane wants to break and run out. Dennis wants to play a tactical game.
Look at how Dennis moved. He's moved over quite a bit to the right. He was to the left of the center on his first couple breaks. Now he's over to the right.
He squared him up nice there. Look at the cue ball response.
Looks like the one's going to get there. It did.
And a shot.
Good break there.
Needs to get the cue ball back to the center of the table, doesn't he, Jay? Or if he can't work it closer to the 3, at least the center of the table would be playable.
Can he take advantage of that successful break? That's the question here.
Nice pure stroke there. Hit the heart of the pocket. You could even hear it thwack right from up here.
Yeah, it's a nice sound.
It really helped him tremendously where he got the cue ball here. Now he'd be severely disappointed if he doesn't run the rack. I'm not alluding that it's easy, though. This is a 5x10 with small pockets.
He's just got to stay in line. Nice soft touch there. He stays close to the object balls and keeps the right angle. It'll be smooth sailing. Toughest ball again is that 8 ball over by the side pocket. If there's a key shot, it's going to be going from the 7 to the 8.
And 8 ball made it a little bit awkward here. He recognizes that.
Yeah, he's smiling. He went a little further than he wanted. He didn't want to have to cue over the top of that 8 ball. He went about 6 inches further than he would have liked. Yeah, see that? This is an awkward bridge. Not an easy shot.
Good shot.
Yeah, he hit it good.
Yeah, good shot.
He maintained his angle as well.
Yeah, didn't try to baby it in there, but didn't try to overdo it either.
He wants to roll this cue ball across the table and be relatively straight in on the 8 down in the corner. Looks like he's going under it. Yeah, he did. Nice speed. Real good speed there.
Well, Dennis has serious momentum his way now. He's had to fight and claw to get to this point.
Yeah, it looks like that break he took worked for him. His Accu-Stats rating is going up and Shane's is going down. $10 ball for the win.
And Dennis breaks and runs out for the first time in the match. Trails in the match 5-4. Hey, Jake, correct me if I'm wrong, but as far as like if you said name a journeyman American pro, just a journeyman, solid one. Okay, we'll name names. Is it fair to say that in Manila there's 36 guys that would probably beat that guy?
Ooh, well, it depends upon the journeyman. I mean, if you're talking...
I'm just saying the average American pro. Not elite, not Shane. Okay, but just the middle of the road.
Well, let me say this, because I've spent a lot of time in Manila around the pool rooms. There are more than 36, probably 40 or 50 serious money players around Manila that are playing big games, relatively big. They play for 10, 20, 30,000 pesos, which is a few $100s. And they would be a handful for any all these guys would be a handful for any American player not named Shane Van Boening.
Okay, perfect. I tried to describe that to people. I mean, I'm sure there's guys over there like Luat and stuff that are still playing that just don't come over here anymore. But guys of that skill set,
well, we occasionally see them. Like all of a sudden, a couple years ago, Jeff Ignacio showed up. There's another guy just as good or better named Johan Chua, Jundal Mason, Carlo Beato. You know, these. It's like, let me tell you, there are at least 25 or 30 players the caliber of Jeff Ignacio that have never been to the United States. I've seen him play money games. There's Bong. There's Coco. You don't know those names, but believe me, these are good players.
Oh, I know. Dennis just left of center. 5 and 6.
Oh, he went back a little bit. That's interesting because the last break worked for him.
He's hitting downward on the cue ball. He's hopped the table once, I know, and it's bounced a few other times. But there he squared him up nice.
Nice control there.
Yeah, very good.
Is anything going to go in? Yeah, they're good. That's nice. That worked out good.
So the extra power really aided him here because the balls did not go into the side pocket, but yet he got the random one to fall in. Jay and I were just talking about the volume of great players in Manila in the Philippines, and it is a absolute talent pool that people think I'm exaggerating when I say there's 36 guys there that would have an effect on an American Pro tournament.
That's a conservative estimate, Mark. Let me tell you.
I think so too, but the people, I mean, they don't even believe that figure, but you and I both know, and it's been a long time since I've been there, but you've been there more frequently. And
yeah, there's 36 guys that would dominate regional tours in the United States. Let's just say that. Because every time one of those unknown players comes to the U.S., they start winning right away. I mean, best example was Manny Pacquiao put on a tournament for the local players and put up some money. And all of a sudden, like 200 guys come from there. I think he had 192 players in his first one. Where did all these guys come from?
yeah,
The Philippines kind of reminds me of the United States 40 years ago. There's pool players everywhere, in every town.
Good shot.
Did he get? No, he didn't get there.
Oh, I think
it's close.
No, not quite. Yeah.
And Mark, you appreciate all these. They're all money players. They don't want to play for fun. They all want to play money games. And the number one game there is still rotation.
Man, I love that.
So practice up on your American rotation. Get in touch with Joe Tucker. It'll help you if you ever go to the Philippines. But they now will play 9-ball, 10-ball, or 8-ball. Those are all games they like to play. What I find interesting is we know Efren is the greatest one-pocket player of the last 25, 30 years, and they don't like to play one-pocket there or bank pool. Those are not popular games among the Filipinos. Looks like a nice safety there by Dennis.
Boy, very artistic. Threaded the 2-ball past the cue ball, and then was able to engage the 9-ball as a blocker as well as the 5.
Shane's going to have to kick off the far end rail just to hit the 2-ball. Dennis has got a real chance here to tie up this match.
Yeah, no quit in Dennis Orcollo. He was down 5-0 and things were not looking good. And he had to go through quite a series of tough, testy shots. We even said one point that 9 balls or 10 balls not fair because Shane had made a jump shot that turned out completely good. But
see, this is the kind of shot that all you can really do is kick and hit the ball. There's not much safety here.
No.
And look at that. The rolls are going Dennis's way now.
And he earned it too with his real handy safety on the previous shot.
But kind of agreeing what you said earlier, you saw that safety that Dennis came up with, and this seems to be another strength of the Filipinos. They understand the table and the layout and how to take advantage of it.
Look at this. This is interesting. He might be thinking about billiarding the 5-ball here with this shot. And that would make getting from the 4 to the 5 just a little bit easier. Yeah.
Good call, Mark.
You don't see that very often where guys are moving secondary object balls. You got to be super confident, but he knew it was going to be difficult to get an angle to get back easily on the 5, so he just moved it down and just take it out of play altogether.
That's what we've been talking about. People ask, why are the Filipinos so good? They know how to move those balls around to their advantage.
And you said it before, Jay. They play a lot of 15-ball rotation. That is a shot that's in 15-ball rotation that seldom comes up in 9-ball and 10-ball. And so they have those diverse skill sets. They're comfortable billiarding balls. American players, we're great shot makers and breakers. Not too handy on those little type things.
We don't think about them.
We never do them. We don't practice them. It's not glamorous. And that's why we struggle on the world stage.
Well, the only way we're going to get better, Mark, is we have to get out there and play internationally. Shane is currently the only American player that's doing that, playing all over the world. I'd like to see some of our other top players like Mike DeShane, Justin Bergman, Skyler get in that competition, because that's what's going to make them a better player. I mean, these guys our top Americans are good enough that if they see and compete against these other top players, they're going to learn and they're going to improve.
Yeah, and they're going to be hungrier. They're going to get tired of getting bloodied and battered and practice to perfect the skills sets needed. Hold their own on the big stage. We could definitely do it. But we haven't done it.
We're going to have a tie ball game here in a second. Looked like it was going to be a runaway 20, 30 minutes ago.
Yeah, serious fireworks. This will challenge Shane to be able to come back now. A lot of fighting these two. 5-5 is our score. Great safety play by Dennis Orcollo in that game. Made a great deal of difference.
Dennis is looking for a little redemption because he's been getting pounded by Shane the last 2 or 3 years.
And you can definitely see Dennis's, just his pace around the table. It's like there's a little skip in his step now, you know, that wasn't there earlier when he was kind of coming up the table with nothing.
Look at this.
Yeah.
Dennis's TPA is higher than Shane's.
Shane pocketed the first 50 balls of this match. Do you realize that? It was 50-0 in balls pocketed.
Yeah, but now look at the errors he's got. He's got 8 errors. And when he made those first 50, he had 0 errors.
Very, very interesting match. This is what I love about this event. I mean, every match is just, you know, the World Championship match. And that's not an exaggeration. These are pairings that are matched up in the top of any tournament. Kind of get your adrenaline flowing. I love watching world-class pool. I mean, after that Bustamante match the other day, we went to lunch, and I was just like on cloud 9. Like, I'd drive over here, pay $20, watch that one match, drive home 4 hours, and say, that was well worth it.
I want you to know something, Mark. If you go to the Philippines a few months from now, people will recognize your voice. And I'll tell you why. A match like this will be shown on TV many, many times. This is going to a television network. I don't know who Dave Thompson has marketed it with in the Philippines, but any of these matches with Filipino players are aired repeatedly.
Yeah. So I'm not much here in the United States, but I'm a big star at places I've
You are. I'm telling you, people recognize my voice because they get big audiences for these matches over there.
Oh, they love pool. Yeah, that's real pool fans. Every city block of Manila has at least one pool room.
Yeah, I got to give Accu-Stats credit. They've expanded the audience for pool worldwide.
Dennis really locked down that ball right behind the one. Did go into the side pocket for once.
Wow, this is best break yet. Look at this break. He found a sweet spot.
Well, he made that happen to him. He really powered up and hit him square there. He got a lot of ball action.
He got 2 balls down. He's got a cut shot on the 1. The trick here is to get from the 1 to the 2.
And, I mean, if you don't get perfect on the 2-10 combination, that's not great. If you don't get perfect on the 2-3 combination, that's not great. This is where the Filipinos excel, is creating angles and approaches to object balls that apparently don't go readily.
This shot's a lot tougher because he's got a severe angle on the 1 to open.
Yeah. I almost feel like it might be like a just slightly below center, left English, and then attack the cue ball right at the 2 between the 4 and 9.
He's got to miss that 4 ball. Does not want to bump the 4 here.
Oh, he might be banking this.
Just for that reason. I think you're right.
Yeah.
Right in the pocket.
That gave him
right
a lot more control. A lot more control. Great. Very heady play.
Well, it worked out good. He can shoot the 2 in the side and just stop the cue ball there for the 3.
I have to tell you, Dennis has really made some good shot selections here, and then supported it with great execution to hold himself into this match. And now he's on the verge of taking the lead.
This match is a long way from over, folks.
Good shot.
He used the whole pocket there.
Well, I mean, the whole pocket was very small, Jay.
Yeah,
It's that angle of approach on this table, but terrific shot.
This match is going to get really intense before it's over.
Well, it's really intense right now. 5-5, and Dennis has got momentum major on his side. One of the more dramatic turnarounds here.
Oop, oop. Ooh. What's Jimmy say? It wiped its feet going in. My buddy Jimmy White.
This is how good they're playing. He almost missed. Rather than he almost made it for amateurs.
I think he's going to do a lot of right inside English and try to get over, like that.
Kind of like he let up a little bit on the English there.
Yeah. He didn't quite hit it Efren-esque. Efren shoots those shots better than anybody. To this day, he does.
This shot has a little challenge to it, that's for sure.
Nicely done. Nicely done.
Good decision to go behind the side pocket and hit the heart of the corner pocket with that 8 ball. Perfect angle on the 9 now. All he's got to do is just stun across. Even just a little bit's plenty.
You notice even Dennis Orcollo took a moment and kind of took dead aim on the pocket. Don't assume anything. Well done.
That hit the heart of the pocket. And this is a great time for a second break and run out in the match, too. And there it is. Boy, I know Derek's going to be loving this. He really gets into it. 9:02 now. Dennis is way back. Look at him. Now he's pacing play here. Total
both
breaks.
both players have had 4 successful breaks. Neither player scratched on the break yet. BPA, break performance average.
Look at that rack track. Doesn't it tell it all? 5
There you
in
go.
a row and now 6 in a row. Makes it very clean to look at.
Well, this is the first tough match Shane's had in this tournament. He kind of ran over Niels and Alex.
And he's getting tested now. Can't thank you enough, Jay, for putting this tournament on. This is my absolute favorite event. We always talk about it, but this is what pool should be right here.
It just keeps getting better every year. This is a collaboration with Greg Sullivan of Diamond, and it's a real test. All the top players want to play in this event, but it's invitational, so we try to select the best players we can get. I think we've got 11 of the top 16 from the Fargo ratings in this field, and even the rest of them are all rated whatever, 18th, 20th, 22nd.
Oh, mission accomplished. Every match is just tremendous. The first round is great. Colo squaring up the 1 ball here. A lot of care with his aim. Couple
Breaking
balls
good
in.
now.
He
Look
got
out, cue
kissed
ball.
back.
Look out, cue ball. He
Hideous.
lost it.
Hideous. Look at this. Made 5 balls on the break.
Oh, he made, counting the cue ball.
Oh, my. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, yeah, that's right.
I think there's another ball down.
All right,
Did that one go down in the corner too as well?
It did, yeah. Listen to some of these first-round matchups we had as Shane has a very routine run-out. Lee Van Cortese versus Ruslan Jinnikov. Dennis Orcollo, Carlo Beato. U.S. Open winner Kevin Chang versus Alex Bagulayan. Niels Fine, Shane Van Boening. Efren Reyes, Darren Appleton. Coping He, Francisco Bustamante. Jason Shaw, John Moore, Skylar Woodward, Justin Bergman. Now, come on. You don't
Many of
ever
those,
need...
many of those matches could be the finals of a world championship.
You would never need to apologize for putting that field together like, well, we got most of them. I mean, it's the most elite killer field I've ever seen.
Well, what's happened over the years is the top players are now reaching out to us. They want to be part of this event.
Yeah, I would imagine.
It's not a U.S. Open and it's not a World Championship, but it's still a feather in your cap to say you've won the Bigfoot tournament.
Shane's cruising through this rack now. This would tie the score if he gets these last two remaining balls.
Nicely done there. Slid over. First game he's won. Dennis ran off 6 in a row.
Tremendous battle we got going on here, Jay. 6-6. Nobody's going to lose this. It's just going to end because somebody ran out of time.
We're almost tied on. TPA is like almost the same, 884 to 887.
Yeah, that figures when the score is tied, too. Could you share with us a couple of the names that didn't get in, that wanted to, that would have fit in that group, too, that you would have liked to have had?
We lost one player, and I was very disappointed, and that was Mike DeShane. He was in the field, and then about a week out, he withdrew for his own personal reasons, and I was disappointed because he's acknowledged as the second-best player in the United States, and he's really he should be competing in this tournament. He promised me that next year he will play.
Van Boening set the break, rack 13. 6 and 9, right behind the 1.
Our first alternate was Ko Pin Yee's younger brother.
Ko Pin Chung.
Ko Pin Chung. I think he's only 19 years old. Actually, right now, Skylar Woodward at 22 is the youngest player ever to play in this tournament. If Ko Pin Chung would have got in at 19, he would have been the youngest.
2 balls down for Shane. Long, thin cut on the 1 if he wants to go after it. Any other names that didn't quite get in that had called the express interest?
Earl was a couple
Earl?
down on the list. I'm not so sure that he's competitive with these top players at this point in time.
Boy, every time I see him play, he is.
Yeah, okay, well, he was... Skylar is the player that replaced Mike DeShane, probably the most exciting young player in the United States today. And at first he didn't want to play in it a few months ago when I asked him about it, but then when I told him he could be an alternate, he said, I do want to play.
Look at that. Smooth that 1 ball right in there. Nice. Was there any of the other top American stalwarts asking to be in?
Not really. Not really. It was Skylar and Justin got in. Shane, as you see here, and then Mike DeShane.
Now you would think everybody...
Corey asked me at the last minute, so did Rodney, but this field is full in December, and they came along a little bit too late. Rodney's played in it several times, with some success. And to Rodney's credit, he's been playing good the last couple of years.
Sure has. Yes, I beat Corey in the finals of a big Florida tournament. He played phenomenal.
Yeah, now I'm thinking of it because Johnny Archer asked me again also at the last minute. And I had invited Johnny. And he told me he wasn't sure if he was going to come to Derby City. And then maybe a week before this tournament, he said, is there any openings? I said, not really, Johnny. I said, you could be an alternate. I said, but you're third one down. So, yeah, in the last week to week and a half, Corey, Rodney, and Johnny reached out to me, but way too late. The field was full. Nice shot.
Boy, Shane's really coming with it here, and this rack is not really lending itself to An easy run.
Got a little tough on the 4-ball.
That was a tough shot. The 1-ball was a tough shot. I mean, can't really fault him here. He just has to be a shot maker. The cue ball just will not cooperate to get to a place where he can get command of the table.
He's got to roll this one in, too. He better hit it good, and he did.
Great timing, too. That's the exact shot that Shane struggled with over the last year, because he has such a long swing, and sometimes he decelerates a little bit on his approach to the cue ball, and it really distorts the shot just enough they won't go in.
You must have been happy with his performance this year in the Mosconi Cup, because he really picked it up from the year before. He showed up as a leader this year.
Oh, he's a leader, yeah. A lot of people try to intimate that he isn't. And he doesn't mind playing a subordinate role, but he'll be the leader too. Either way, he's there to get done what needs to be done.
Well, I know our young players look up to him.
Everybody, yeah, when he speaks, we all listen. He doesn't say much, and so that makes it far more powerful.
Well, if he should win this Bigfoot tournament for the 3rd time in a row, that's quite a feat.
He won us over at the 3rd U.S. Open in a row, just so you know.
They should make a movie about this guy's life.
There you go. Van Boening, 7-5 in front. 4th breaking run out of the match. How about that?
As we enter at 14.
Hey, Jay, my wife, karaoke Kathy, this is her line. If you don't like this, there must be something wrong with you, right?
I agree. If you don't like this, you don't like pool.
Yeah, bless her heart. She's here in spirit. She's got her number 1 son here, though, standing in for her, promoting.
Derek.
Ball. Yeah, Derek Keith. Ball sift around.
Your other son is playing pretty well in the tournament so far. Jamie.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
He's a good player.
He's a good player.
Yeah.
Can he beat Dad?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
No question about that. The other boy, I thought you were talking about Dylan, Derek's brother.
I don't know him. Well, 3 balls on the break, the open shot on the 1, and the 3 ball is out in the clear there. What happened there?
Well,
That was a mental error.
no, it was a little trying.
Yeah,
The
but
first shot after the break is so critical, and yeah, it was a missed ball, no question about it, but it wasn't like he wasn't trying to make it. He just laid up there awkward.
I think a little bit he assumed that shot, and he was focused on getting position on the 3. What an opportunity for Dennis. I'm not used to seeing Shane miss balls like that.
Big unforced error. And that's really what dictates the outcome of these matches, the unforced errors.
Well, I think Dennis is going to make him pay for that one.
Yeah, right now Shane's got to be hopeful that it's only 1 rack penalty.
Will the 6 pass that 10 ball, or does Dennis have to draw over and shoot it in the
No,
other
it
corner?
passes.
Okay. Yep.
Now, is he going to have to draw around the 8 here, come back? Be able to stun it down the center of the table.
No, he may just draw straight up the table.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, he went around
behind
the
the
8.
eight,
Yeah. Well done. He's got,
Just a hair flat.
yeah, he's got a little angle, but I think it's enough.
I don't think I don't know. I don't know if he's... This was the shot that Shane missed earlier, so he's just going
Right.
to draw back and play the 8 long. Yeah, that's smart.
It's important that he stays close to it like that. He didn't want a big angle here. This is not a hard shot if you're close to the object ball.
And conversely, forcing the cue ball 2 cushions on the preceding shot. That was the shot that Shane missed, and it is very easy to miss. These pockets are snug, and when you have to really hit one with super force, it's easy to slightly mishit the pocket, and that's all it takes.
Dennis went back and powdered his hand.
Gonna have to stretch out here for this one. Should have drank his milk when he was young and became tall. This would tie the match up, however. And does.
He did it.
7-7's our score. Big unforced error now from Shane Van Boening. This is going to be a race to 4. Orcollo now has the initiative with this break coming up, rack 15.
Think we'll see a hill match, Mark?
We're heading that way. We started off this whole event with 3 consecutive hill matches.
That was crazy that first day.
And then the last match of first day, they ended up 1 game short of hill.
Yeah,
They
went
went
11-9. Yeah.
Just to make sure the broadcasters got a good warm-up in.
You've been the Iron Man in this tournament so far.
Yes.
And you're gonna keep on working. You're gonna do the bank pull, the one pocket.
I might not be good, but I do produce quantity.
Come on, don't be humble. You're very good.
How about
You're
this? A question for you. You said I could
Yeah.
ask you anything. This is filling in a little bit of time, but it is interesting to me. In your pool career, your life, being around top players, have you ever seen anyone that shoots consistently straighter than Jason Shaw?
Wow. Only one guy I can think of that shot in my life that could shoot as straight as Jason Shaw, and that was Louis Roberts.
Louis Roberts.
You should know him. He was from
Yeah.
your neck of the woods.
You know, but I don't. Not the degree of consistency. I mean, the uncanny consistency that Jason Shaw has. You know, I mean, he just overwhelms people with firepower, and that probably costs him a little bit. Some of it, he doesn't exploit the tactical side of the game as much because he gets away with it because he just makes some hard shots. And so,
He makes hard shots look easy.
Oh, yeah, he absolutely makes this 10-foot table look like a bar table at times.
It doesn't matter who wins this match. They're not going to have any bargain with Jason.
No.
Jason has been very impressive.
When I asked Danny this, and I never got to see the guy because it was just a little before my time, he said there was one guy in his recollection, and it was a scoundrel, not someone he's proud of, but Detroit Whitey.
Yeah, I knew Whitey too.
Did you? See, I never saw him play,
yeah.
but I can't imagine he could play as good as Jason Shaw.
Yeah, Whitey was a great shot maker as well, but he was a pretty notorious pool player.
He was a renowned scoundrel,
Yeah.
right? Danny said he was the number 1 scoundrel ever in pool.
Yeah, I think so. I don't even want to tell you stories about him because some of them are very vulgar.
We don't need that.
Pat would ban me from the booth.
Okay, here we go. Rack number 15. Look at Dennis really locking in on this break. You see how much time he took aiming it while he was standing? I love that part of it. That's like Kevin Chang at the U.S. Open.
Dennis has Zen-like focus when he's playing pool, I'll tell you. You can't even talk to him, and he's a friend of mine. If I try to talk to him when he's sitting in his chair, he just ignores me. Wow.
Uh-huh.
Boy, his last 3 breaks have all been great.
Look at this.
Look at this. Look at this.
He deserves it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I will share this. This was Danny's story of why Detroit Whitey was the number 1 scoundrel ever in pool. And you'll have to go some kind of ways to beat this. He'd had some felonies in his past. He got arrested for some type of a major drug bust and talked his wife into taking the rap, who would get a much lesser sentence than he would. She did so, and while she was gone, he sold the kids. That was his story. I mean,
No, that's true.
even
That's
if it isn't true, it's worth it anyway, you know. But that's how you get to be
And
the top of the list.
The worst part is I think he sold the kids for like $50 each.
Oh my goodness. Oh,
I'm not sure how that all turned out once you got out of jail,
Yes.
but yeah, there's and that's not the worst
Well,
of Detroit Whitey.
we will leave it there, though.
That's pretty high on the list.
That is hard to top there. I never even considered that as a possibility.
What happened there?
Well, he was trying to do a little more with the cue ball, and it in turn caused him to miss. So
I'll tell you
an
what.
unforced error here.
I'll tell you what, the last two misses, the first one by Shane, ooh, Dennis is not happy. The first one by Shane and then this one by Dennis are just so out of form for these guys. I mean, they both missed badly on relatively easy shots.
Now we're going to have a quick player timeout. So we'll be back in just a moment. Hey, everybody, we're back. Dennis is not back yet. Shane's stalking the table like he might go ahead and play. Scott Smith is here presiding.
Oh, it's his turn. He actually could shoot. Let's see what's the conversation. I think Scott told him, hey, hang on, buddy.
Scott, he nods off some of these matches here. You get into a heated safety exchange or something, and his body shuts down this juncture. Well, let's just talk a little bit about this one ball. It looks like maybe high right English. Is that?
Yeah. Well, he's only got to come around for the three, and the three's pretty much out in the open.
I don't think you can get. I think
he
you have
wants
to come.
Shoot. Look at this. He's shooting.
I think he needs to come between the 8 and 10 and 9 and either play it in the corner or the side. I don't think it goes around the 8, the far side. Yeah, like this. No, he's going to be right in between.
Don't get on top of the 8. Oh, my God.
That's what I mean. I think he needed to come between the 8 and 10 there and not use. He introduced too much side spin. Well, Dennis is going to be happy coming back to this.
Yeah, Dennis doesn't mind at all now when he sees this predicament. Well, Shane can probably hit the 3, but you've got no control on this shot. And he lost it. Another error. Shane Van Boening. Dennis is going to get ball in hand. The 4, 5, and 7 are tied up at the top of the table. The key for Dennis is he's got to drop in between that 4 and 5 ball. He's got to drop the cue ball right in that little opening there.
Yeah, ball in hand really helps for that shot.
He'd like to put the cue ball right on that diamond on the end rail there, between the 4 and the 5. This takes perfect cue ball control.
Get a second look at this kick. Ugly kiss off the back of the 6 or 7 ball, I guess that was.
Well, the 7 kind of moved over and tied up the 4 and 5 a little bit. It's going to take a real good shot here by Dennis. Oh, you know, he can shoot the 4 and use the 7 to hold the cue ball. This makes more sense. I think he
certainly provides a bigger margin of error.
Yeah. Well done.
Yeah, very heady play there.
That's why he's Dennis and I'm not.
I mean, there you go. He used the percentage judgment. He had percentages in his favor beyond what you had. You could do it either way, but his way will happen possibly for the positive more often.
Well, this match feels like it's going to go right down to the wire. Don't expect to see a big handshake after the match either, if at all. This has kind of become a bitter rivalry over the last couple of years. There's some bad blood between these guys.
I will venture to say that Shane will definitely shake Dennis's hand after the match. That's disrespect for the sport, and Shane understands that.
Well, I'm glad. Let's see if it's a perfunctory handshake or a sincere one.
It'll definitely be sincere. We've had discussion about that. Now with Dennis, I've seen him not be that way at all.
Yeah.
So I could see him.
Yeah, it kind of goes both ways, Mark. So, but we'll see. Right now, the important thing is who's going to get to 11. Ooh, boy. We have seen some balls missed the last couple of games that were surprising. First Shane and then Dennis missed easy 1 balls.
If there is such a thing, apparently not too easy if they missed them. But less difficult, we'll say.
And he just missed an easy 9 ball. Ooh, these guys are tight. Dennis is tight.
That's the 5x10. That goes in on a 4.5x9. You know that, right?
Yeah, he
if it's
missed-
hanging on a 5x10, I guarantee you that goes in with hardly a wiggle on a 4.5x9.
but he missed that ball any way you look at it.
Well, you probably miss them on 9-foot tables, but they go right in. You don't notice. That's my point. This will be 8-7 Van Boening, and Van Boening breaking, and that will do wonders for his disposition.
You know, I hate to say it, Mark, but the
yes,
last
yes.
couple of times Dennis has played Shane, this is how it looked, what you're seeing right now. When Dennis had a chance to win the match, he made mistakes. I remember him getting hooked. I remember him scratching. It's like he gave the match back to Shane, and that's a psychological thing there.
You know, when that happens is when you want to beat somebody so bad that now it's harder to beat them. You know?
Yeah, something happens in your brain.
Because you really shouldn't be playing the other guy. You should be playing the table and the balls, you know. But Dennis has got that emotional side to it, that component. And
Yeah,
that
maybe he
changes
wants
it.
to beat him too bad.
And we are now at 8-7. Shane.
Oh, he's kicking himself right now, believe me, internally.
Yeah, he had ball in hand, and Shane left everything wide open. He could have exploited an unforced error by Shane, but instead he turned it back over. Shane didn't get punished. 8-7, Shane Van Boening, alive and breaking.
Well, Shane might punish him right now.
It's the three
There goes
ball.
a three. No, nothing.
Dry break, but nothing easy here. One ball in front of Dennis.
Well,
Probably not worth playing offense from.
I think Dennis is glad to be coming to an open table, because we know how dangerous Shane is when he's breaking the balls.
Well, he's already broken right now 4 racks in this set.
Looks like Dennis is gonna try to hide behind that 4-ball, and he did a nice job.
Typical Filipino players, that's how it looks when you come to the table, doesn't it? You must have fun over there playing pool.
I do. I play a lot of rotation over there.
You get the kick from right here a lot, don't you?
There's a little different. They play a little different rules. Their rotation. I'll share with you sometime.
Shane's looking at 2-rail kick. I was going to say, if he goes 1 rail at it, if he tagged the 1 ball just right, the 10 could go pocketward. Looks like he's trying to go 2 rails here.
You're right. The cue ball could slide. If it slides off the top of that 1, it's going to head right towards the 10.
You can also miss the entire 1 ball doing that, and I think Shane's trying to prevent giving up ball in hand.
This is not a big 1 ball out in the table like that. He hit it.
Good shot.
Got a
Good
rail.
shot. That's going to be great. Great result.
Well, Dennis can make this 1 ball go in rail first. Let's take a look and see where the 2 is.
Well, you
Ooh,
can
all
scratch.
the way down table.
Right. You can scratch off of this too. You know, it depends.
Now it looks like he's going to go and kick behind the 1. Kick it up table. Let's see. Now he's going rail first at it. He's trying to make it go around table with the cue ball. Let's see. He did. Let's see what happens. Wow.
That's a tremendous shot. Oh, come on.
Now, Mark,
World
you and I
class.
both know that it's really hard to run out a rack when you just failed the rack before. That will weigh on your mind. It's like there's twice the pressure on this rack to make up for his error in the last rack.
No, that's true. He's a pretty hardened warrior, though, and so, well, he desperately wants to beat Shane. He can bounce back from this. This is really the big shot, though, right
Yeah.
now, anyway.
The first big shot. He's got a lot of work to do here. Well, it came out good. He's got the 3 in the side. Everything's out in the open. The 5 ball, getting from the 4 to the 5 is going to be his predicament as I see it. That's what he's thinking about. Easy to shoot the 3, easy to get on the 4, but
You know, the other thing about this big rivalry and the intensity, and there's emotion tied in, but you also have to be mindful how good it is for the sport. Dennis and Shane.
Yeah.
That's all you have to say. You know,
Two of
Dennis
the
and Shane.
best.
You know it's going to be a fantastic match.
is he drawing this ball back?
Oh, he's trying to stun
Stop
it
it.
over. Yeah, he didn't have to do it too much.
Boy, he's trying to get in between a little window between the 6 and the 9. Did he get there?
Yeah.
Wow.
That's why he didn't try to work it closer, because the angle even narrowed up quite a bit more significantly.
Well, he's looking at it like he can see the whole ball.
Yeah, this is the transition right here. He gets on top of the 6. He's really looking good.
Can he complete this rack after that easy missed 9 ball in the last rack? Somewhere that missed shot will stay in the back of your mind. Oh, my God, he almost missed the same pocket again.
Yeah, he's really carving through a tough rack, though. I mean, it drains you.
Dennis.
Oh, he looks good.
Yeah, he's not at his sharpest, though. He's,
Well, it's tough. Look at the
yeah.
battle scars he's obtained in this rack.
You're right about that. He does look a little like a wounded warrior right now. He's battling back. Well, can he make these last 2 balls? Tie this match up again?
Answer is yes. 8-8 will be our score. Dennis pockets this 10 ball.
This.
Considering the bridge for this.
I'm surprised.
Yeah.
If he could, usually if he can stretch it, yeah, Scott Smith grabs the bridge for Dennis.
Well, he failed so much with the bridge before. He wants to get a little practice in this rack.
Look at how he holds the bridge.
Yeah.
Puts his left hand way up there. Almost like he's bridging on it. His hand.
Puts it away. 8-8 is our score.
We are tied once again, 8-8. We've got a race to 3 to go to the championship.
The battle wages on. I don't think these players have another break. I think they got to just play it to completion right now.
I'm all for it. I don't think I have another break either. So. 873, 875 is our TPA.
Yeah, things look a little funny on the rack track now. They've been trading games the last 4 racks. Trading games and trading errors.
Well, you only get 1 error per rack. These guys, it's 1 inning 10 ball.
Let's see who's going to be the stronger competitor in the stretch drive here. Actually, their TPA and their BPA are very close. Both players.
You know, Jay, back in the early stages of this, it used to be a race to 15. Do you remember that?
Sure do. Yeah.
That was too long.
That was an endurance contest.
No, it was too long because, and I always think the fans should be considered, you know, when you make rules, no matter what. And that, if it got 11-2 or something, I mean, come on.
Yeah, we did it for a couple years, and then...
yeah, this is...
Well, our director, Pat Fleming, was one of the people that influenced me to influence Greg and I to shorten it up.
This is a good enough test, and especially on the 10-foot table.
Well, we had a concern because it's a single elimination event as opposed to most tournaments which are double elimination. We felt like we wanted to give the players a maximum value for their money, and at that time the entry fee was $500. But this is working. We got it working now.
5 and 6, right behind the 1. Dennis locks in on the break. He's broke very well the last 3 or 4 breaks.
Oh, my God.
And that's the one where he hits down too much, trying to do too much, and now look at this.
That's
Shane
the
Van
one thing
Boening,
you don't want to do.
happy to pick up the cue ball off the floor.
That was the wrong time to lose the cue ball, that's for sure. One thing you will notice on the 10-foot table is the balls tend to spread out a lot more than they do on the 9-foot. You see no 2 balls are tied up. There's really no congestion on this table.
That's true. Banking is quite a bit more difficult, however. Here, we're going to get a second look at this. It's downward, bounces once on the slate. That's when you hit the one ball airborne and slightly off.
Yeah,
Because otherwise it just hops straight back if you hit it perfectly square.
Right. Is that because he tried to hit it too hard?
Well, yeah, he's trying to get more power, but then he kind of lunges his body forward and they butt in, so it's a jump shot into the one is all it is. And once you hit that one ball with the center of the cue ball slightly higher than the center of the one, that produces lift.
So would it be unfair for me to say that he choked a little bit on the break?
I think he was too desperate to want to make a ball on the break and tried to overpower it and he did it yesterday too, same exact way. Now when he hits it real square, he gets away with that hop. He just missed
it
the
hops
head
straight
ball.
back.
Right.
Yeah. I've seen Dennis succumb to the pressure playing Shane
Well,
2 or 3 times
it.
in the last year, and it's unlike him. Because usually he gets stronger under pressure.
That's where he's not playing the game, he's playing the man.
Well, we've all been guilty of that, and Shane is the one guy that just seems to be Dennis's nemesis now.
Well, you get to pay for it if you're going to persist in that, if you're playing the guy. It's kind of like in poker, you can't set out to beat one guy, even though he might aggravate you. Because you make calls and do things the wrong way that is not high-quality decision-making.
Well, I've had conversations with Dennis about maybe the best way to play against certain players, but if I bring up Shane, he does not want to talk about it. Which to me is kind of telling in itself.
Yeah, no, you're emotional at that point. Then you're not analytical. That's his feminine side coming out, Jay.
Okay.
As long as my wife isn't listening to this, right? Big shot here. For the lead, middle of the pocket. Shane Van Boening 9, Dennis Orcollo 8. Yeah, he kind of gave that game back, didn't he? Right?
Yeah, I think I like the way Shane always controls his emotions. I don't think he lets his emotions get the best of him.
No, I would say, in my experience around Dennis, if I was to say what's his weakness, I absolutely think his emotional side. And if you said what's Shane's weakness, I would say the fact that sometimes his backswing gets so long on delicate shots that he decelerates into the cue ball and causes some steering. And so those are the two. I mean, they have absolute strengths across the board. I give them superlatives in every category except for those two things.
Interesting.
Well, you know Dennis is emotional. You
Yes.
watched him. You know it's not just me saying it off the cuff. I've watched a lot of matches, and you know him better than I do. And,
I was interested in your analysis of Shane's weakness because, frankly, I don't see any weaknesses in his game.
yeah. 5 and 9, right behind the one.
Ooh, he almost lost the cue ball. Good break.
Look at this.
See how well he controlled his break?
And he made multiple balls again. One ball's down here by the corner pocket. This is what we've been seeing coming up to this match with Shane.
See how he responded to the pressure of the situation? He made a beautiful break. He's got a good shot at the one ball and then the two.
You know, and not picking on Dennis any whatsoever, because I'll match the same statement up with any other player here. I'll bet Shane practices the break a lot more than Dennis.
Not so sure about that.
Okay, well then, throw Dennis out. I'll bet Shane practices the break a lot more than anybody else in this building.
Yeah.
Maybe Dennis does. I don't know. But
I've seen Dennis practice the break for 4 hours at a time.
all right.
Because he knows that's where he's got to pull his game up to defeat Shane Van Boening.
Pretty shot.
Yeah.
Well, you know what I'm saying. Anyway, the basic point is nobody's going to... Maybe they practice as much as Shane, but they do not practice it more than Shane. I promise you that.
Well, regardless of the fact that he practices as much or more or even close, Shane's break is more effective.
And that's why. You know, he can tell you and show you where to hit it. You can't hit it that good unless because it's a big swing with timing. You know, it's like hitting the tee shot in golf.
Well, you notice when Shane's getting ready for a match, when he warms up, all he does is break the balls.
Well, last night after he beat Pagulani, he broke an hour and a half.
Yeah.
On the table. I mean,
Yeah. He wants to get that break down. Well, I think everybody knows that the break is the most important shot in this game. If you don't have a good break, look what happened to Efren. Efren's lucky to get 8 games against Jason because his break is just not up to par with these top players.
Oh, let's suppose that we got a little straight on this, didn't he? Have to examine it. He may have to manipulate the pocket a little bit. He's fairly close to the 5.
I think he could just draw that cue ball out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's suppose that Shane breaks and runs out here, right?
Yeah.
This would put him on the hill at 10 games, 5 of which came by virtue of break and run out. Now, that's powerful. That's how you beat Dennis Orcollo. You can't gunfight with Dennis Orcollo every rack and expect to come out of that any better than 50-50. You have to get some games as he's starting to fall a little straight here.
He's okay.
Okay. Well, this is that shot that he wobbled earlier.
Oh, yeah. You know what? The cue ball rolled down there where it is tight. Well, one thing about Shane, when he's made a mistake, he'll correct it.
Well, he knows he's going to have to power up. He might even consider rail first here. It's pretty far from the pocket. He'd prefer not to do that. Well, he's going to power up and just stun it down. Ooh. No.
This is a tough. Look, this came out tough.
Yeah, he got so flat on that.
I think he should have gone forward 2 rails there. Even if he was over on the side rail by the side pocket, it'd be a lot better than what he's got here. Is he going to try to cut this ball in? Looks like he's banking it.
No, I don't think he's banking it. He might chip it and cut it. Safety. Or he might cut it in. Cut it in. No safety.
Wow.
Wow. Didn't quite get there. Did not quite get there. Free chance for Dennis now.
I'm really surprised he didn't try to shoot at that ball, Mark. He didn't try either banking or cutting.
I don't think it laid right for the bank. He was really going to have to stiffen that up.
Because, you don't want to let a player like Dennis come back to the table if you can avoid it. And now, meanwhile, Dennis has got a tough shot, but he's got a shot. He's got a shot, and he didn't expect that.
Easy to put a good stroke on this because you didn't expect to get it. You're delighted, so you think there's no risk. What the heck? I got a chance to win and steal the game here, and the worst is it's going to come out as the way I thought it was going to be anyway.
Yeah, in poker we call it a free roll.
Dennis explained.
He's checking to make sure he has an extension left. But if he doesn't hear the referee say 10, then he should have, here comes a new 40 seconds, so he's okay on time.
I don't think he's going to draw this just because it includes an extra difficulty element unless he's fearful of scratching.
Right. Well, now it looks like he is
going to draw it.
Yeah.
So that he's fearful of scratching. He has to keep his head very still. Big shot there, Jay.
Wow.
9-9. What a turnaround. What a turn of events there.
There's been some crazy things happen in the last few games in this match.
Yeah.
Who would have thought that Shane wasn't going to get out there?
Well, when it fell straight there, I recognized that was similar to the one he struggled with earlier, and then this is a 10-foot table. You're not just stunning it down there for the 9-foot.
Yeah. Well, I'm surprised the way he went at it. Yeah, it looks like he could go forward. He had enough of an angle. He might have been up table, but at least he would have had an angle on the 10 ball.
True. Yeah, he could have possibly worked the cue ball up near. I don't think he could have got past the side pocket, but he could have got near the side pocket. But I also thought he could go rail first on that. Now, it was a long ways from it was, more than a diamond, probably diamond and a half. Rail first.
Let me ask you, Mark, do you think him missing that ball earlier affected his decision how to shoot that shot just now?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Right. He recognized it was the same angle, and he knew he was going to have to use warp speed to power up, and then with side spin. And these pockets are so unforgiving.
Yeah, maybe he was thinking, if I try that same shot, the pocket's going to reject it again.
Here on the camera, you can see he's emotional about it. He's shaking his head side to side. He's upset, and I've seen this a couple times. Even with his head 5-0, and he made an error at that point. Then he was a bit upset. So he's probably got that he wants to beat Dennis pretty darn bad, too, attitude.
Well, one thing about Shane, if he gets back to the table, he'll forget all that.
I would rather see him forgetting it now.
Let's see if Dennis can forget that last break shot.
5 and 6, right behind the 1.
What an interesting match this turned out to be. See, he hit it. Ooh, look out. He did it again.
Well, he got kissed in. This is not so severe. The one he hopped the table, his fault. This one, ugly, bad luck.
Yeah, well, he doesn't feel any better, though.
No, but you can't help, you cannot control the luck. So we work on what you can control. If it hops the table, you could have controlled that. This case, he hit him great, laid into him good. A couple balls, kiss it, off it goes, scratch.
All
it.
true, but Dennis doesn't feel good about it either way.
No. Anyway, Shane likes coming to the table with ball hand.
Yeah, that'll help you forget what happened last rack.
Yeah. But, and with Shane's break, I mean, this could easily be the last shot that Dennis shoots in this set.
Well, we've seen everything else in this match. I think what this will tell you out there is that even these great players are human and they make mistakes. They're not robots.
No. He missed it. Here's another point. It's easy for us, because we watch so much 9-foot pool, to think, well, they're not playing to the standard that we think they should be, and that meanwhile, this is 25% more difficult, at minimum 25%, because there's 25% larger surface area. And it's also the hardest surface area, so probably could call it 35% more difficult to play well on a 10-foot table.
You're being very generous, Mark. I say they're dogging it a little bit.
Jay opts for the oversimplification.
I love you, Mark Wilson.
Don't overthink it here. They missed.
They're feeling the heat. Both these guys are feeling the heat right now, let me tell you. Anything could happen.
Look at this.
Yeah.
There's no way he usually glides into that.
Yeah, he didn't want to bump that ball. Does he want to try to shoot that ball down to the end? Past the 6 ball? I'm not so sure.
No, I think he does, because I think he feels like there's a reward. That's why he went over and measured the.
Well, this is a tough shot.
Oh, yes, sir. Yeah.
This is much harder than some of the ones we've seen them miss the last few racks.
Shane came to the table here, ball in hand, wide open distribution, got 1 ball. How often would that ever happen? I always joke around with my kids at school. I'm like, so you have ball in hand, you got 1 ball. Well, I gave you 1 ball. What happened here now? That was an open layout.
Hey, listen, I think every one of us has missed with ball in hand.
Oh.
That's embarrassing.
Many, many times.
Yeah.
You know, at the Strickland Reyes Color of Money Challenge, it was 117 apiece, and Reyes missed a ball with ball in hand.
Wow.
And still won
I
the
forget
match.
you were there. You were the commentator for that match. Look at this shot. Ooh, what a beautiful shot that was.
I got a clap here in the booth. That was a heck of a shot. This would be the, get on the hill time here. Dennis sees the end zone.
I'll tell you what, this match has had a little bit of everything. I'm not going to say a guy's out for sure.
No.
All Shane's thinking is, I want to get back to the table one more time.
Yeah, really, the converse is true of what I said about the fact that Dennis might not get another shot in this match. Shane might not get another shot in this match now.
Dennis has got to stretch for this ball. He's looking for that bridge. Yep. That makes it just a little bit more difficult to control the cue ball, because he's got to go all the way back up table for the 7.
He's made a couple good shots with the bridge, and he missed a crucial shot with the bridge earlier.
Yeah. He just mishit it before.
He'll be on the wrong side of this ball.
Well, I think he was actually playing position for that side. It was just a...
I see. Well,
yeah.
He made a perfect shot. No, really. Look at this. Got the nice angle.
Well, his speed was good. His speed was good there.
Yeah.
Now, if he could reach it, he'd probably try to go 2 rails around for position in the other corner, but he couldn't. That bridge made him shoot it this way. But that's the smart way to go. You take what the table gives you. Ooh. Oh.
Yeah, he missed. He missed. He moved his body a little bit on that delivery.
What did I tell you, Mark? These guys are struggling to get out.
Day 1, that ball still slides in, just so you know.
Right. The pockets have tightened up. No question about it. The pockets have tightened up.
Now, will Shane draw out of here, or is he going to try to use rails?
No, I think he's going to draw this ball. Let's see. Maybe I'm wrong.
He was able to go rail first.
Yeah. Oh, my
Long
goodness.
range,
Oh,
yeah.
my goodness. Ugh. I don't want to say comedy of errors, but that's what comes to mind.
No, I feel like, the pressure and the immensity of trying to beat the other guy has come into play, for sure. Now, let's suppose that Dennis loses this match as we look on. Shane's got a big shot here. Shut up, Mark. Let's watch this.
Hit it good.
Thwap. Hit the middle of the pocket. If Dennis loses this match, can you speak to him after that? Or you got to let him go for a while?
No, I won't talk to him. I'm sorry. He will not be in any mood for any conversation, that's for sure.
Yeah,
Considering how he lost it. Hey, if Shane would have blown him out and beat him like 11-4, like he beat the other guys he played, then no big deal. But the way this match came down at the end,
I think Shane will be much in the same boat. I don't think he'll be too chatty if he loses. 10-9's our score, Van Boening in front.
I think if Shane wins, he'll be relieved because he knows that he gave Dennis every opportunity to win this match.
Hey, Jay, if this goes out to the Philippines, I want to send a big shout out to my buddy over there, Lucky.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, sincerely.
Yeah.
Lucky, he's my buddy.
Well, he heard you.
Looked after me.
He will hear it.
Still miss you and love you, Lucky. He looked after me while I was in the Philippines, and we went around and played some pool together. Our ups and downs.
Well, Lucky kind of mentored Efren a little bit when he was young. He kind of looked out for Efren.
Last break of the match for Shane Van Boening. 6-ball drains to the pocket. Look at that last little kiss. Yeah, here we go.
Well, he should close it out here, but...
It's 5x10.
Yeah, but wait, based on what we've seen the last 5 or 6 racks, there's no certainty. I mean, this looks like ball in hand.
You'd think we'd learn our lesson about saying they can't get out.
Well, I think we did learn our lesson. 8 balls on the table for the win, and a big win it would be. Disastrous loss ahead for Dennis Orcollo.
And the bridge hand got awkward here.
Yeah, he's okay. He can bridge on it. He doesn't have to do much with the cue ball, which is a good thing.
Yeah, right. But he did do something with the cue ball.
Yeah, he put a big stroke on it, that's for sure.
So maybe that wasn't quite as bad or awkward as I felt like it might be.
Just slow roll this ball? Yeah. I'm looking for the difficulty, but I don't see it.
No, he'll have to misplay a ball, get too straight on something here because the angles are there, available. Nothing's real near the cushion, so you can play either angle. You just have to have an angle.
Just wants to make sure he doesn't end up straight in on that 9 ball.
Yeah.
He wants to keep some kind of angle.
It'll be hard to get too straight in. The only way the 9 ball getting straight in hurts you is if you're on the rail with a cue ball also.
Right. Ooh, that would be a disaster, wouldn't it?
Yeah, because it's easy to miss the 10, even though you can make it just because you feel like you shouldn't have been that far away from it.
Well, if there's a key shot, it's this one, getting from the 8 to the 9. I think Dennis is resigned to his fate.
Eases on home. He's going to have an angle.
Well, this match didn't look anything like Shane's first 2 matches, where he destroyed his opponents. But a win is a win. Sometimes you got to win ugly.
Now, this will be upper 800s TPA anyway, so it won't be real ugly. This would be his 5th break and run out of the set. Pretty powerful when you win 11 games, 5 of them by virtue of break and run out. That means you only had the gunfight the other 6 wins. And Van Boening closes out. Then we'll look for the handshake. Yes, it was perfunctory.
Yeah.
Dennis displeased.
Yeah, he turned his head away. Yeah, he didn't look at Shane in the eye and say congratulations, that's for sure.
Now Jason Shaw's in the arena as if he's prepared to go.
Boy, he's ready to play.
Yeah.
What time we got now?
Well, any closing remarks, Jay, before we wrap it up?
Well, Dennis can blame nobody but himself. He had his opportunities. There was an easy missed 1 ball where he used the bridge, the scratch on the break, and then that missed 7 ball when it was 9-9 where he should have been on the hill. I mean, he had multiple opportunities to take control of this match, and he failed.
We want to thank everybody for sitting in with us on behalf of Mark Wilson and Jay Helfert. So long for just a while.
Introducing Lucasi Hybrid, a whole new level of performance and technology. A cue with the revolutionary X-Shocks dampening system, eliminating vibration. G5 grip technology for enhanced traction and stability results in maximum cue control. Total sweet spot construction means unmatched power. And the zero flex point ferrule provides dead-on accuracy, giving you the confidence you need in every shot. Lucasi Hybrid, the only cue that matters.